Bitcoin is experiencing right now a small correction, but this is not the big event that was happening here in the last 48 hours. A signal flashed for Bitcoin that has never ever flashed before. And if you want to know what this is actually two signals, then you should definitely stick around here. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell so that you will never miss out on these super juicy and money-making videos. And now let's directly get into it, because I know you cannot wait for it. First of all, I want to show you that finally the Bollinger Bandwidth here on the daily chart has broken slightly to the upside, only a little bit, but it was enough for pushing the price out of the Bollinger Band, create a new yearly high for Bitcoin. So, and being around $46,600 is already a little bit crazy when you think that we not even had the halving. And that makes me really exciting about what's to come just after the halving. There is a potential that after the halving we might actually see straight away a new all-time high, because Bitcoin is right now so strong. It's incredible. It's incredible. This is my fourth bull run, and I have never seen something like this in a pre-halving phase. What will happen next year? Most likely, at some point, the price action will come back into the Bollinger Band, which is fine. It doesn't mean that we have now to dramatically drop it to the downside. What can just happen is that the Bollinger Band is continuing to go up like this, and the price action will just slightly fall below it and then trade here on the upper end from it. So we would stay around $46,000, $47,000 for a while. But with the ETF approval just being around the corner, I can imagine that we could also get one more push outside the Bollinger Band and go a little bit higher. So that is also definitely possible. There was one God candle, I remember that, that went insanely outside the Bollinger Band. I cannot remember when that was anymore. It was in the last 4 years. There was a candle going like this outside the Bollinger Band. But like I said, I cannot remember anymore when it was, but it was 2, 3, 4 years ago. When we are looking at the stock to flow model, that is also something that I wanted to show you guys today. We are actually exactly where we should be according to the Bitcoin stock to flow model, which was quite surprising for me. I thought we are deviating a little bit from it and are higher than expected. But here comes something that I also want to show you, which is really important. Here, after the dark blue phase, we are getting afterwards a small cool-off phase before we are heating up. Look here. If you're looking at this, there is here one more push, then a cool-off phase, then the real run starts to the upside into an all-time high. And also here, dark blue, cool-off phase, and then we went sideways, and then we went up, all-time high. And the same here, again. Dark blue, come down, sideways phase, push up, then again a push down, sideways, then sloping up. So, and this downwards move after the blue phase is always happening after the halving. So here, I give you an example. Here in July 2016 was a halving. I think it was around July 30th, because I remember that the Bitcoin price went crazy and I made so much money being on holidays that all the money that I spent on my 2 weeks holidays was back in 3 days. It was crazy. So that was around the 30th July. So, and you see afterwards, Bitcoin dropped. Bitcoin dropped not a lot, but a little bit. And then in September started to go up again. And then here back in 2012, the same thing. Here Bitcoin was at $12 and then went to $11, not a big difference, before we start running up here. So, and the last time in 2020, we were at $10,000 and came down to $5,000. So, but we should not forget there was also Corona happening. So that is like an outlier for me when it comes to that specific point here. But anyway, afterwards, we got a massive run to the upside every single time. And I think this time will be not different, especially if we have a Bitcoin ETF. Now, what is that signal that I have found that has never flashed before? That signal is here, a simple moving average on the weekly chart. And this is creating basically two moving simple averages, the short term and the long term, the 50 and the 200. Are crossing over for the first time and creating a golden cross. And the golden cross is when the short-term simple moving average is moving over the long-term moving average, creating this golden cross and putting buy pressure on that asset. So it is a lagging indicator, but it is insinuating that we are entering into a massive uptrend. And the higher the time frame, the longer this uptrend is then lasting. Now, when we're going to the S&P 500 and we want to see how long on the weekly that was lasting in comparison, because for Bitcoin it's the first time, we don't know how long it's going to last, but if we compare it with the S&P 500, it should last for a couple of years, and this is insane. Imagine the gains that we can make in that time span. So now, if I go back here to 9082, and we're looking at here how long that was going, basically holding, then we see here 1,000% returns. But of course, that was going on for 18 years. I don't expect that we're going to see here an 18 years uptrend on the weekly. So, but what I can imagine, a shorter lived one like this here, this was a 4 years one, and totaled 28% for the S&P 500. Now, Bitcoin will do much more. We all know that because it's not a stupid stonk and also not an index like the S&P 500. So, and here, right now, the S&P 500 is in a 13 years uptrend, returning 310%. So, which is also crazy. 13 years already. So, and yeah, maybe next year there will be another death cross on the S&P, but for now, it's still in a massive uptrend. So, and now if you compare that to Bitcoin, like I said, 4 years makes, to me personally, a lot of sense. 3 to 4 years to be in a weekly golden cross uptrend. When we're going into the lower time frames to better understand what's happening here right now for Bitcoin. So here on the 30 minutes chart, we see that there is some consolidation happening right now after we hit yesterday $47,320. And because it was a Monday, that was also now the high for Monday. The Monday low is at $45,500. So this is a big trading range for this week that we have. I explain it again, where the Monday high and the Monday low are giving trade direction for the rest of the week. If we are breaking the Monday high, we are going much, much higher into a new trading range. If we break the Monday low, then we could potentially go down to the weekly open, which is lower. And if we lose the weekly open, then we have a massive dump coming in. So the sorry, this is actually not the Monday low. The Monday low is here. Sorry, my mistake. That was Monday mid. So so if we lose the Monday low, then normally we get dump to the downside, a massive one. So now you see this is a really big range, 43,150 to 47,320. So this is a $4,000 range, trading range that Bitcoin is in right now. So do I believe that we are coming back and testing the Monday low before the ETF approval? No, highly unlikely. The Monday mid-level, possible, because it's not so far away. It's a 3% move to the downside. That is more likely. Do I right now believe that we are going to get there? Not really, because Bitcoin here on the 30 minutes is potentially forming that also nobody is talking about as far as I know. And if this pennant is breaking out, then we are having a target of almost $50,000 to the upside. So this is the next Bitcoin trade that I'm going to take. I will trade again on FAIRDESK. You guys know my trades on FAIRDESK. They are quite profitable. All the time I lost 3 trades out of 16 so far. So that is a good ratio. If you want to follow me on this trade, then sign up on FAIRDESK. You still get the highest bonus in the industry, $120,000. And like I said, you can just copy trade me there, you know. So, and I will definitely gonna take that trade later. If we are breaking $46,861. When we are going here to the 4-hourly chart to our liquidation levels, so we see that what I said yesterday played out exactly to the T, and that was that we are cleaning up this whole short liquidation area. So everybody that was in that vicinity here with a liquidation level and was holding a short got wrecked completely, unless they closed the short by themselves. So now we have building up some new, bigger short positions because they are on super low leverage. But I also think with the ETF approval, these shorts, they better close. Even if it's at a loss, I would get out of my short if I would be holding one, because once the ETF approval is happening, and it can happen as early as tomorrow, then we're gonna see another God candle to the upside, potentially $52,000, potentially even $58,000, and that will get everybody wrecked. So I would not try to knife catch a short here once we are moving up, and also not keep holding the shorts that are sitting all the way up here or add to them. So I would just get out of them. But the other thing is, once we moved here to the upside, there's no liquidity up there anymore. None whatsoever. And that means that price has to come lower to find new liquidity pools to move into higher levels here once again. That's how the market makers are playing this game. So, and the biggest liquidity pool right now is around $40,000. Hence, why it's quite likely that we potentially, before the halving, getting into that pool, or just afterwards. So, but I believe because it's not so far away, it could happen before. I could actually see this happening by the end of the month, potentially. So that's why be cautious in your trading right now, especially on Bitcoin, because you can get also wrecked here really quick by holding a long position right now. So all have your stops really, really tight. Now, when we are going here to the liquidation heat map, you see also here, everything got cleaned up here, the $44,600 level, where we had a lot of short liquidity, and $45,000 also. I showed it to you guys yesterday. We've cleaned this all up. So here above us, there's not a lot of short liquidity anymore. If I had to guess, there's maybe $150 million. But beneath us is a lot of long liquidity. Massive long liquidity. So look here only at this, $170 million at $44,700 right now. So this is quite a lot. So that's why with shorts we should be careful. They could get easily flushed just to grab liquidity and liquidate everybody here from $44,000 to $46,000 and then shoot straight back up. So I would be definitely quite careful here right now. But still, I believe that we're going to touch here $50,000 this month, and potentially based on where we are right now, we are definitely closer to 50 than to 44. I can see this happening by today or tomorrow. I was actually surprised that we moved to 48. I did not see this coming. I was thinking this will line up with the ETF approval that pushed to 48,000, but it actually happened then yesterday, which was also fine for me because we made definitely some money here. On the shorter time frames, here you see also around $44,300 to $43,370 is a big support zone right now that is holding Bitcoin afloat. And also here, I see also here now a small support area that we can mark out. That is this one here. As long as that level is holding, Bitcoin will be fine and we will continue higher. As long as this here is holding on the 15 minutes chart. If we lose here this horizontal support level of 46,500 to 46,300, we could retrace really quickly back to the downside to at least $45,400. Why exactly that level? Because we have here inefficiencies in these candles here. So if I go to a higher time frame, you're gonna see it. Let me see, I think I need 1 hour. There is an imbalance in that candle here, yes. So there's an imbalance, and this imbalance will get filled sooner or later. So once we're losing here this range, this support level, the next level will be here, this imbalance, and potentially we're going to get a bounce from there back up. If we're lucky enough, we reclaim here this then former support level and continue to move higher. So that is where we have right now to pay attention to, unless Bitcoin breaks this downward sloping trend line and just keeps pumping. But again, with the ETF approval just around the corner, most likely we're going to keep pumping until tomorrow when we get the announcement. And guys, don't forget, if you want to trade with me together, then do that on BYBIT. It's the best exchange out there. You still get $30,000 if you sign up here with my specific link. Or you go to CoinW or Phemex. They are quite friendly when it comes to KYC and also using VPNs. I would definitely check them out. And on CoinW, you will be also able to copy trade me without KYC. If KYC is not a problem for you, then go to BYBIT or go to FAIRDESK. I'm copy trading also on these platforms. Again, on FAIRDESK, you get the highest bonus in the industry, $120,000 right now. And there I'm right now most active with my copy trading. When we go here to this 4-hourly chart, you see here clearly the trading range that we were in and how we left it now to the upside. So, but we have to be careful here, because this could be just a big deviation, and that could mean that we come back into the trading range before we go higher. I need to see here more consolidation or another leg to the upside to invalidate this here as a potential invalidation. Only then we can be sure that this is not an invalidation and that we basically come back here to the downside. So now the thing is, do I believe that we come back into the trading range? Not really, because we have some levels that we can now look at. One of them is here, $45,570. This could give us support, that level. That is also in alignment with the support zone that I showed you. And then here the underlying level, the top of the range, $44,300. So these two levels could give us support if the Bitcoin price comes down. And from there, I expect a reaction back to the upside. I think these will be buy the dip events when we come back down there, and will be bought up quite quickly. We see this actually happening right now already with these higher lows that we are creating here from 46,200, then 46,400. These wicks got really quickly bought back up here. Now here on the 12-hourly chart, I only want to point out really quickly that we are seeing here that this upward sloping trend line from that prior rising wedge is still giving us resistance if I extend it here a little bit. So we came close to it, but before we even could touch it, we got rejected from there at $47,350. So even though that pattern is invalidated, a line like this can still continue to give us a headache. And this is right now exactly what's happening here. Here on the 12-hourly chart, you also see $45,500 is a potential support level, because it was here resistance, and then we smashed yesterday through it. So it should act as support right now since we are above that. And from there, we could see a move to $48,000, $51,500 potentially. Also, the bullish divergence that we had marked out here has finally played out with that move here to $47,000. Now, when I go to the Bitcoin dominance, here also exactly what I was expecting was happening with that move, that we went above 54% on the Bitcoin dominance. Now we are going here a little bit sideways, and that just might be temporary, because with the approval tomorrow, the ETF approval, I expect another candle to the upside to retest that high here of 55.23% and potentially breaking that to touch 57% here all the way up there. And then we see the rollover on the dominance finally, and altcoins will go absolutely ballistic. We see some life signs already when we're going here back to our total crypto market cap. We are above the altcoin season territory. Here, to be completely in the clear, we need to break $1.8 trillion and flip that level into support. Once that level is support, altcoin season is full steam blown here. 100%. So that is what I'm waiting for right now. We are right now basically in a buffer zone in between, where also altcoins already, of course, start running really, really nicely, and we also make some good money here already with altcoins. But I want to see the $1.8 trillion level flipped into support with a retest and continue higher, because then we know for sure that we are now in altcoin season territory. When I look at Ethereum, then here also exactly what I pointed out yesterday, we had here this symmetrical bearish triangle that luckily in our favor broke to the upside against the technical direction, which was to the downside. Again, I also mentioned that I could imagine that this was just a fake out, which it then also was in the end. We broke here above $2,360, got rejected from there immediately, and now are back in the golden ratio, which is giving us support right now. As long as we are holding on to this golden ratio level here, just going sideways and consolidate, we are Gucci to see here a move upwards into the next golden ratio. And also this can potentially be happening over the next 48 hours in my opinion. When we are moving on here to, where's the other Ethereum chart? This Ethereum chart, we can also clearly see that we are right now above the two biggest VPVR volume traded areas. We moved away from the point of control that I was concerned about, and yeah, if we are just consolidating here a little bit before we get the next leg to the upside, that's absolutely fine with me. Guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you were able to catch some of the trades that I gave yesterday here on Ethereum and also on Bitcoin. I'm really curious how much you actually made on these trades. And guys, as usual, don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then again tomorrow.